Islam is a complete way of life that guides human beings in every aspect of their existence: belief, character, worship, social conduct, and financial behavior. Wealth in Islam is not condemned nor glorified blindly. Instead, it is viewed as a trust from Allah, a test that reveals the true nature of a person's heart. Among the destructive moral diseases that Islam strongly warns against is stinginess, miserliness. While Islam forbids extravagance and wastefulness, it equally condemns withholding wealth out of greed, fear, or excessive attachment to money. Stinginess hardens the heart, weakens faith, destroys relationships, and spreads injustice in society. This article explores what Islam teaches about stinginess, why it is dangerous, and how believers can protect themselves from this spiritual disease. What is stinginess in Islam? Stinginess, Arabic, buckle, is not merely spending less money. In Islamic teachings, stinginess means refusing to spend where spending is obligatory or morally required, withholding wealth from those who have a right over it, loving money more than obedience to Allah, feeling pain when giving charity, accumulating wealth without purpose or benefit. A stingy person may be wealthy, yet spiritually poor. Stinginess in the light of the Qur'an. The Qur'an speaks very clearly and strongly against stinginess, describing it as a trait disliked by Allah. 1. Stinginess is condemned by Allah. Allah says, "And those who are stingy and encourage others to be stingy, and conceal what Allah has given them of His bounty, we have prepared for the disbelievers a humiliating punishment." Surah An-Nisa 4:37. This verse shows that stinginess is not only a personal flaw but a social disease. A stingy person often spreads this behavior, teaching others to withhold goodness. 2. Stinginess ultimately harms the person himself. Allah says, "Whoever is stingy is only stingy against himself." Surah Muhammad 47:38. This powerful verse reminds us that wealth withheld does not protect a person, it destroys him spiritually. Stinginess deprives the heart of peace, blessings, and divine reward. 3. Wealth is a test, not ownership. Allah says, "Believe in Allah and His Messenger, and spend out of that in which He has made you trustees." Surah Al-Hadid 57:7. Wealth is not true ownership. It is a trust. Refusing to spend is a betrayal of that trust. Teachings of Prophet Muhammad, letter FDFA, about stinginess. The Prophet Muhammad, letter FDFA, repeatedly warned his ummah against stinginess and described it as one of the worst character traits. 1. Stinginess and faith cannot coexist. The Prophet said, "Stinginess and faith cannot coexist in the heart of a believer." Musnad Ahmed. This hadith shakes the heart. If stinginess lives in the heart, true faith is weakened. 2. The worst moral traits. The Prophet said, "The worst traits in a man are intense stinginess and severe cowardice." Abu Dawud. Stinginess reflects fear, fear of poverty, fear of loss, fear of the future, while true believers trust Allah. 3. Protection from destruction. The Prophet, letter FDFA, warned, "Beware of stinginess, for it destroyed those before you." Muslim. Many civilizations fell not because of poverty, but because of greed and refusal to share. Social and moral harms of stinginess. Stinginess is not just a private issue, it damages families and societies. 1. Breakdown of relationships. Stinginess leads to marital conflicts, distance between parents and children, broken family ties, loss of trust and respect. A stingy person often loses people while trying to protect money. 2. Increase in poverty and inequality. When the wealthy refuse to spend, the poor suffer. Begging increases. Crime rises. Social balance is destroyed. Islam wants wealth to circulate, not remain locked in a few hands. 3. Hardness of the heart. Stinginess slowly kills compassion. The heart becomes attached to numbers, not people. Such a heart finds it difficult to feel mercy, gratitude, or contentment. Islam promotes balance, not waste, not stinginess. Islam is a religion of balance, wasatiyya. Allah says, "And those who, when they spend, are neither extravagant nor stingy, but hold a medium way between those." Surah Al-Furqan 25:67. Islam does not demand reckless spending, nor does it allow hoarding. It teaches moderation with generosity. Virtue of generosity in Islam. Opposite of stinginess is generosity, a quality deeply loved by Allah. 1. Allah loves the generous. The Prophet said, "Allah is generous and loves generosity." Tirmidhi. Being generous connects a believer to Allah's attributes. 2. Charity never decreases wealth. The Prophet said, "Charity does not decrease wealth." Muslim. What is given for Allah multiplies in ways unseen, through blessings, peace, and protection. 3. The example of the Prophet Hereafter. The Prophet Hereafter was the most generous of all people. He never refused a beggar. He gave even when he had little. He lived simply but gave abundantly. His life proves that true richness is not possession, but giving. Stinginess and the hereafter. Islam reminds us that wealth will be questioned on the day of judgment. The Prophet said, "The feet of a servant will not move on the day of judgment until he is asked about his wealth, how he earned it, and how he spent it." Tirmidhi. A stingy person will regret every opportunity missed. Allah also warns, "Those who hoard gold and silver and do not spend it in the way of Allah, give them tidings of a painful punishment." Surah At-Tawbah 9:34. Practical ways to cure stinginess. Islam does not only warn, it provides solutions. 1. Remember that wealth belongs to Allah. You are a caretaker, not the owner. 2. Give regular charity, even small amounts. Consistency matters more than quantity. 3. Trust Allah's promise. Allah says, "Whatever you spend, He will replace it." Surah Saba 34:39. 4. Practice gratitude. Gratitude softens the heart and removes fear. 5. Think of the hereafter. Temporary savings cannot protect eternal loss. Conclusion. Stinginess is a silent spiritual poison. It slowly destroys faith, relationships, and inner peace. Islam strongly warns against it because it chains the heart to the world and blinds it from the hereafter. Islam does not teach poverty, nor does it glorify wealth. It teaches responsibility. A believer spends wisely, gives generously, and trusts Allah completely. The person who gives for Allah never truly loses. And the one who withholds out of fear will one day realize that what he protected was never truly his. Wealth is not what you save. Wealth is what you give for the sake of Allah. Because that is what follows you to the grave.